What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV Live, and I'm joined by Turkish today. How are you? Good?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of news. Not a lot of news. There wasn't a lot of news.
There's big news.
But now there's big news. It's just broken. This Fabio Vieira, looking like he's about to sign for Arsenal. It's all been going off on all the media outlets and all the news reporters, and are now getting on it. And we're gonna discuss it. We're gonna talk about it today. We're gonna get obviously Turkish opinions, my opinions on it. You guys as well watching, your thoughts and opinions on this player. And we're gonna kind of break it down. Now, the news was broken by Pedro Cepeluvedi. I had to try and get out there. Fabio Vieira will be an Arsenal player. There's already an agreement between Porto and Arsenal. Value of the termination clause is 40 million euros. Fabio Vieira travels to London in the next few hours was the original tweet that broke the news of this. And now, ever since, we've had more updates as the hours and minutes have passed. It's going to be a 5-year deal. As like we mentioned just before, the release clause has been activated. Release clause is at 42 million pounds, which is 50 million euros. But they decided to negotiate it. Basically, they negotiated up from what it was originally, which was going to be 29 million up front and 4.3 in a potential add-on. So that is it's looking like it's pretty much going to be done. I believe he's being flown over. He's been doing his medical on Friday, they're saying. So this is all from Fabrizio Romano as well here. So yeah, it's a player from Porto, young, 22 years old, plays in the midfield. Quite a technical player. I have watched him. I have watched. I'm not going to say I'm an absolute expert because I'm not, but I have watched him. Especially when we recently just filmed a draft video as well, and we looked at the Portuguese league, the Primeira Liga, and I actually looked at him as one of the players to consider to pick in one of our drafts. But seems like an exciting talent. He didn't have too many starts last season. Off the top of my head, I believe it was 15 starts and 12 off the bench. 15 starts and 12 off the bench.
Great numbers though.
And yeah, his assist numbers are a joke. I believe he was a top assister in the
great numbers all round. Assists,
goals as well. Yeah.
For only 15 starts and 12 off the bench, he had a good season. Good breakout season for him.
Yeah, no, I'm just interested. I'm confused in the sense that this wasn't a position that I don't think Arsenal were really looking to address.
Yeah.
This wasn't a player again, it's bad. We have Robbie here doing Transfer Daily. We look and research all the rumours, all the gossip. We're all involved. Never heard this name pop up, and then bang! Seems like he's been flown over, getting his medical. Going to have his medical done. It's going to be confirmed. Probably by with Arsenal, we don't know, but they're probably saying by the end of this week. It's very interesting. It's a player I didn't have on my radar to sign for Arsenal, but I don't think it's a bad player that they're looking to bring in here. It's someone, for you, Ted, I'm assuming shouldn't be priority. That position that he plays a CM, plays quite attacking, can cover the left side as well. Were you surprised by it? Were you surprised by this?
I think we're all surprised by it. Because it came out of nowhere, and it kind of puts all those in the nose and journals in the mud a bit, because they've all been talking for the last few weeks, but no one out there knew about this coming, even had an inkling about this coming. So I like that. I like that, and I like it more because it's a good player. It's an interesting player. It's an intriguing player. 22 years of age. He's got a reputation for himself. Yeah, I haven't seen him much, but I've seen him here and there. I remember the last couple under-21 championships, he was in the team of the tournament. And the reason I know that is because at Arsenal, we're not signing the top of the top players. So I was looking at players in the under-21s, under-23s and whatever else. And team of the tournament twice. He was player of the tournament last year. And I don't think they won it.
Okay.
I don't think they won it, but he still got player of the tournament. So that bodes well. That means he potentially has a good future.
Which is what we're kind of building around this Arsenal side. I know people get frustrated about Project Youth. I'm a big fan of Project Youth. I am. You see me smile. I like to see young players thrive in the side. I like the fact that Arsenal are doing business as well, that it's not on the front line. I actually do enjoy it. I did like it with the last summer signings. The Arsenal I remember, a lot of the players before they signed, I didn't know too much about them, and they became great. So I'm not too angry at this signing per se. I'm quite excited to see what this player is going to turn out to be. And there's a comment here from David Austin, says it is thought that the signing of Vieira was driven by Mikel Arteta, who expressed his admiration of the playmaker for months. Your thoughts on that?
That comes out every time we make a signing. That comes out. That's just an extra layer of PR around it. Whether it's he's come for this or whether he's coming for that, there's always something there regarding a reason why the players come in. But listen, it's done under the radar. So I do assume Mikel Arteta has, selected. He is the manager at the end of the day. He's not a head coach. He's the manager. So,
but there was word that he was getting frustrated with, him wanting signings to come through, and I'm assuming the above not giving him those signings. It's interesting. They said that, this is the one he's been speaking about for a while, and they've got it done really out of the blue, really.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to listen.
Or is that again with the? Do you think that's still with the PR model of, listen, Mikel Arteta, he probably didn't choose this player, or do you believe, he probably did have his eye on him?
No, I'd say he did. Why make him manager if you're not going to give him a real say in the transfer? So he must have a real big say. I think when it comes to the Brazilians we've been linked with over the years, or the Brazilians that have come in, that's tends to go to Edu, because Edu is Brazilian and he's got the links there. Any other player, I look at Arteta and I look at, this must be a man you want.
Yeah.
The thing about Vieira for me is, even with the signing and 40 million or 35 million, it's a good bit of money. It's interesting to see what we're going to do. I see a few people in the comments saying he's a Xhaka replacement. He's not a Xhaka. He's not a Xhaka replacement. He's not like Xhaka.
Different players. Yeah.
If anything, Vieira is probably more. He's a Bernardo Silva type of player. He's small. He's good on the ball. He's got close control. He's quite direct. He's quite dynamic as well, which is good, because that's a lot of things we miss in the attack. We've got cultured players in attack. You look at Odegaard, who currently occupies that number 10 position.
He's more like an Odegaard. He's more.
But he's more like an Odegaard than a Xhaka for sure. But he's very different to Odegaard in my opinion as well, because he's dynamic. Odegaard is not really dynamic. Odegaard is more laid back, cultured, picks the spaces and gives himself time. Whereas with Vieira, from what I've seen, he can beat a man with a bit of pace. He can turn a man inside out and go the other way, and more importantly, he takes shots.
Yeah, that's very true.
So last season, he started 15. He came off the bench for 12, so 27 in total. I think he had about
20 goal contributions from when I last checked, I believe, in those 15 starts.
He had 43 shots. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. He had 43 shots in 27 games, 12 off the bench, whereas Odegaard had 53 shots in 36 games. So already you see a player that's going to take more shots, and that's something that sometimes when Odegaard just outside the box, we're crying out for him to shoot. And then you also look at fouls suffered. Odegaard 20 in 36 games, and then you look at.
No, that is something I'm going to be honest. That is something.
44.
Yeah, that's something I did read up on him as well, and had a little look. That is something he does do. He wins a lot of fouls. But I mean, you expect that from a player. What is he, 5'6"? Like, you expect that from a small, young, nippy, agile player. That's what you expect. I believe he's like 10 and a half stone. He's light. He's going to be more dynamic than the players than other players as well. So I expect him to pick up fouls. I must say though, with his numbers are great. Like 14 assists and 6 goals, especially for someone he's not really starting week in, week out. It's great numbers. It's a player that I'm because it caught me off guard. I'm excited to see sign for Arsenal, and I'll be excited to see how he develops. I want to take some of the comments here because I see some of the super chats flying in as well. Before we get into what does it mean for the up and coming signings for Arsenal, the Tielemans, and
what does it mean for the current players? Because we've added another kind of central attacking midfielder, another number 10 type. So my question will be, how is it deployed with Odegaard? Is it depth for Odegaard? What happens to Emil Smith-Rowe here? Is Emil Smith-Rowe now, permanently left wing? This is what I'm interested about. This is what I want to see in action now, because I like what I see from Vieira, and it is something we lack.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's areas that I believe in the starting 11 we need to attack. Now, don't get me wrong. If we go ahead in the next few weeks and next couple of months and attack those areas and we get it, then adding Vieira for the depth and the option and so on, rotation, whatever it is, extra games, it's definitely a positive, 100%. But similar with Rafinha, if Rafinha came in, or a Jared Bowen recently we've been linked, I'd ask the same question. It's like, I get it, depth, you need that, but I want to see how it's deployed, considering Saka's had a good season and we're happy with him on the right. What about the areas we need to address? So it's good that we've got a good player on our hands. It's exciting. He is an exciting player. But let's make sure we also plug the gaps as well as giving us an exciting player.
Yeah, but there's word to say that Arteta wants to, because I've seen him. I know Arteta has said in the past that he wants to play one defensive mid with 2 in front. There's word to say. I wouldn't think this happen straight away, but Thomas Partey in defensive midfield. You have Vieira out on the left and Martin Odegaard on the right in front of Thomas Partey. And then you have your front three of Mate, Saka, and if we get Jesus, a Jesus. So you could have one just defensive mid, and that allows them both to be in the side. But it is... It
at 5'5" or whatever.
I know, that's the physical. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that kind of debunks it. That's the only thing is
unless Odegaard moves from a 10 to an 8. Which
Arteta's tried in the past as well.
Odegaard might be better suited to that. He might be better suited to that. But I don't know. I'm just throwing suggestions out there because I assume at 40 million, 35 million, he's going to play a big part. He's going to be coming in, his age, his reputation, the price tag for Arsenal Football Club. I know only compared to others, it's not that much, but for Arsenal it is. I assume he's part of the first team plans. So I want to see how he's kind of put in.
Do you know what? I think, right, you bring Saliba back. You have Saliba, Gabriel on the back line. You have Tomiyasu fit. You have Kieran Tierney fit. You put Thomas Partey as the lone DM, and you have the two in front of Vieira and Odegaard. That, to me, sounds... I know you're talking about, you know, you might worry about his physicality, him being quite small and that. But for me, that with that defence line behind you and Partey, a fully fit Partey, I'm quite happy with that. If you look at what I've just said there, Saliba, Gabriel at centre back, you've got Tomiyasu fit, you have Kieran Tierney fit, you have a fit Partey, and then you let the more creative players in front, the Martin Odegaards, the Vieiras, the Sakas, the Martin, go and have fun. That for me is a nice balance. That's what I think. If I was Arteta, I think that's what he might be looking at and thinking, you know, this would be the dream. Right now, I don't think it's gonna happen straight away. It takes time to build that into the side, but that's a good-looking Arsenal side, if you ask me. We need a strike.
It's a little better looking, because if I ask you who's banging in the goals, you're still...
Yeah, I didn't say a striker.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So really and truly, this is what, you know, this is what we can't do. Exciting signing, yes. Positive signing, yes. Shock signing, yes. But let's make sure we still get what we need to get done.
Okay.
Let's not, you know...
I didn't mention the striker.
Relieve the pressure off of them because they still need to do more.
No, we need a striker. We definitely need a striker. I didn't mention a striker because, one, we haven't got one yet. We haven't actually. Eddie hasn't even... we haven't been confirmed he's re-signed yet, but we haven't got one. So I left out the striker. But with that base... That's a solid base. That's a good foundation for the players in front to go and be creative.
Yeah, but bro, the same issue. Yeah, but what have we fixed? Our issues last season, yes, he adds creativity, and that was one of the issues.
And shots
from
outside the box.
Other issues was when you lose one player, everything gets shuffled about because you don't have what you need in place, which is a bit of depth, yes. But it's also, the positions that cost us in terms of depth towards the end of last season was Partey and Tierney.
Right.
They cost us a lot. I know, again, I'm going to say Vieira's an exciting signing, but it doesn't fix those two issues. And before those two issues, we already had an issue up front with goals and striker. And yes, it can aid that issue, more creativity from him. He takes more shots. Yeah. He's young, he's confident, yes, that will aid it, but we also need to get that done as well. We can't forget about that.
Okay, so then I think that's quite good though, what I'm saying is, because Thomas Partey, okay, you're right, the depth in there. So say I don't think this affects Tielemans, by the way. So if we bring in Tielemans as well, does that cover that depth that you're worried about? Yes, we need a striker. You're probably going to get a Gabriel Jesus as well. We're only talking about 3 signings here. We're not talking about 5, 6, 7.
I'd be shocked if we get Tielemans now. But that's just me judging off what Arsenal have done in the past. You know, if they are changing, if there is a new dawn and whatever else this process has been sold to do, then all right, Tielemans coming in, great,
he is a different style
because
of player,
in midfield we lack things in abundance. It's not just one player we lack. We lack different qualities. So Tielemans coming in would, on top of Vieira, would add further quality and would make us a better side, give us more options. We can rotate a different, we can combine different players. We can make it work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Arsenal of the past, I'm not too sure we're going to do that. We'll see. We'll see. Obviously, it's a good signing, positive signing, definitely. It's out of nowhere. Let's get it under our belts before pre-season starts, and let's see what he's all about. Hopefully, we follow this up with Jesus.
Yeah, or maybe even a surprise signing to cover Partey. Sorry, because really Tielemans could come in, but he's not the exact profile that Partey is. But there could be a defensive mid out there that they're looking at that we haven't really considered, and they bring him in. I think Vieira, a striker and an attacking player, and we need someone really to cover left back, in my opinion. But that's not too many signings. I'll ask you, Turkish, what does it mean for the likes of? Well, it's only really Granit Xhaka. I was going to say on any, but obviously he's signed an extension. What does it mean for Granit Xhaka?
What does it mean? It's not like for like.
It's not, but I'm saying, but you're gonna. Do you think we still need? If we get another midfielder in that position, say a Tielemans or a defensive midfielder to cover Partey, does Xhaka get much games?
Yeah. Then you start
You start considering.
You start considering his place in the side and whether his qualities or whatever people see in him works off the bench, things like that. And listen, I hope we get another midfielder in because we need it. But it's a good start. Listen, out of nowhere, good player, good little reputation there. He's young, and you know, I want a bit more experience, so hopefully we bring that in. But in isolation,
good.
It is good, but I want to see how it works.
All right, let's go to the super chats here. We've got Bob Marley with the first super chat saying, Turkish will say we never bid for Fabio Vieira.
It's a silly comment, man, from a silly guy, but...
Jonathan James says, Odegaard rotation option for more than the cost of Odegaard, question mark.
That's what I'm saying about the price tag and Arsenal. Well, we don't pay this money for a backup.
For a cover, yeah, because...
So how is it all going to fit? And I'm not, this ain't me being negative, I just want to see it. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued as well. I'm trying to wrap my brains around it as well.
I want to see what Arteta's plan is with it now.
Well, that's why I think that's why I think what I mentioned before about passing a DM and two in front makes the most sense. But then he is going to struggle. I don't know. He might struggle with the physicality of the Premier League. That from what I've watched of him and from his size and everything, you put two and two together. Listen, players take time to bed in, especially into Premier League. It's the most ferocious, I'd say, league there is, and it's the most entertaining. Things going to take time for him, but that would be my solution: is DM and then two in front. But if not, I don't see him being. You don't pay the release cost 40 million for backup. But anyway, like you said,
Arsenal
we're intrigued.
Don't, that's for sure. Man City, Liverpool might do that. Man United can do that. Chelsea have done that. But Arsenal, when we spend 40 million, that looks like an integral part of our team for the next few years. That's
why I'm so intrigued that they went for this just out of the blue. And this was probably the second.
But then again, you know, remember the start of last year, we went in for Buendia, and then we went for Odegaard. Maybe Arteta actually did want both of them. And I'm not saying Buendia is like Vieira. But what I'm saying is maybe he's trying to follow that Pep system where it's a lot of attacking, creative midfielders, 10 goals here, 12 goals there, 15 there, maybe 8 there, and across the front three attacking midfield. They can
rotate, pick up a few goals as well. Yeah, that's
maybe, but listen,
that's
on a budget, that's not easy to do. On a budget, that's not easy to do.
Nothing, yeah, it's true. Nothing's easy on a budget, especially if you haven't got...
This ain't a criticism, but Pep didn't produce this on a budget. Pep didn't produce his reputation on a budget. So I want to see, you know, how it works and whatnot.
And I think
it'll be interesting. Hopefully, listen, it's a good start for me because surely we're gonna. Well, Jesus is already the strong link. So surely we're gonna continue doing business in the areas we need to do business in because we've been linked to Tielemans, we've been linked to Jesus. All of a sudden we get Vieira. So I'm still expecting 2, 3, not necessarily big names, but names that add quality and improve our side. And then, you know, next season will start looking a bit more exciting. But at the end of the day, we also need to know how it's going to work. Whose position does this cost in that front four? Because he's not a striker.
He's played there. He's played there a few times. He's not a striker. Let me not confuse anyone. He's played there a few times last season, but he's not a striker. Yeah, he's mainly.
So what will be the three behind the striker now? That's the next question. So we'll see. Yeah. Maybe it's
him, Odegaard.
Maybe the 8 played more a role in the attack.
More advanced, yeah.
So it's like a 4 behind the striker, but we'll see. Third year of the process, you know, we've just signed a young Portuguese prospect. Quite early in the window as well. So you know, we need to make sure that we continue building.
For Fabrizio Romano, he did say that he's accepted the destination as his dream of Premier League football. This Vieira, the young Fabio Vieira, he said it was a dream player in the Premier League as well. As another reason why he signed here at Arsenal. Is looking to sign here at Arsenal. We got Dom here with a super chat. It says, need to hear from Robbie after all this BS from yesterday, just because we didn't sign a player.
Him and James
with the Basuma, yeah. Vieira is top. Been following him since we were linked a couple of years ago, which is also true. Was linked, I believe, back in 2020. Was linked with him. I remember. I think Robbie spoke about it, actually. Was linked to him back in 2020. And also, what makes it even more sweeter as well, Turkish, Tottenham this morning were linked with him as well. I saw some things on Twitter saying they were analysing this as a great player, and then swoop in, like what we did with Tomiyasu, and we took him out of their clutch, which makes this a little bit more sweeter as well, I must say.
But listen, Dom, in defence of Robbie a little bit, surely you would have liked Basuma and Vieira.
Now that,
you know what I mean? Even people on Twitter now, they're coming back to tweet me about my tweet a couple of days ago, calling out the owners again. But the fact of the matter is, if Partey gets injured, Fabio Vieira is not saving us.
It actually makes more sense. Sorry to cut you. To have now it makes more sense that we should have got Basuma and Vieira. Now,
yeah, like one doesn't justify the other, and what might justify missing out on Basuma or not even going in for Basuma is what we do in the next few weeks, couple of months. And yes, then you can turn around and say, Robbie, look, we had a plan after all. But the Fabio Vieira signing doesn't justify not going in for a midfielder like Basuma, what he does at that value, unless we have a plan. Listen, it's 2 years in a row that a Partey injury has cost us in the middle. It's not just 1 year, it's 2 years in a row. Villarreal semi-final, this year, the crunch time in the season. So it's something that I want us to address. I'm not saying buy Basuma as a backup, but what I'm saying is we need someone there that we know is enough quality to rotate, to replace,
has
to compete.
Be rotation. We've got loads of games next season, Turkish. It's not anyone that gets signed shouldn't be seen as a backup. We've got Europa League next season. There's more fixtures. There's obviously the World Cup in the middle of the season when players are going to come back and be tired. They're going to need players that can rotate and keep the same quality to really challenge for that top four or even, the top four. So I think we not sort of can't be talking about backup players. I don't know what this is.
And I'm not saying Dom is
building a squad.
I'm not saying Dom is. I'm not saying this is Dom. But what I'm saying is there's so many Arsenal fans that want to turn around to someone like Robbie or maybe someone like me who's been upset recently or a lot more than recently and attack straight away. It's like, see, look at what's going on. See, patience.
Yeah.
Hold that.
Window,
Some people are saying hold that to me, and I'm like, but I'm an Arsenal fan, you know. We've just signed an interesting young Portuguese player. I'm happy. But this doesn't make up for Basuma, and it doesn't. It doesn't mean we don't need to do other business. It doesn't mean we are ready for next season.
But it could make up for Basuma.
So there's no point in turning to me and saying, "Oh, what do you think now?" I'm happy. Good signing, intriguing prospect. Like I said, I've seen him a few times in the past, and I would have wanted him from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But let's not now run away with it and act like we are, because if we run away with it, that's when the owners look and say, job done.
They're happy, yeah.
We've given them a nugget.
I disagree with people coming at you and saying, hold it and wait. Look, you should have waited.
It is what it is, man. It's the culture of the fans now.
I do have a slight side with some people when they say, listen, let's wait till not to the end of the window, but let's not go too mad too early. There's still a lot of time left of the window being open. Let's wait and see. I understand that. I don't understand people going mad and coming at you for being overcritical when it's, the window's just open. But anyway, that's on that. We're going to go to the next super chat. Actually, I've got a comment here that I want to read out. False Man just says, Vieira is literally Odegaard 2.0. Why are people getting gassed? For me, I don't think listen, I'm a big fan of Martin Odegaard. Having an Odegaard 2.0 for me is a positive as well.
He's different to Odegaard though. He's different. He is.
And with Martin Odegaard as well, I always said, once Odegaard finds his shooting boots and adds goals to his game, he's going to be top talent for me. So if we're bringing a player that does have goals in his game, has a lot of assists as well, does take a lot of shots, I'm happy with the signing. Of course I want more. I don't want people to think we're getting carried away and being like, oh my God, he's the next coming of whoever. But I'm happy with a young prospect, someone who's good. May get some
I hear
minutes
he's both-footed as well, which makes him very different to Odegaard, because Odegaard's quality, but he's very one-sided. So already I've seen that he's more dynamic. He's more both-footed for sure. He's more direct. He takes more shots. So for me, he's different to Odegaard. Yes, same positionally maybe, but surely Odegaard means a lot to Arteta. This signing at 35 million must mean a lot to Arteta. Surely we're going to see them both in the same lineup. Yeah. That's what I'm interested in.
I hope so. I would like to see that. I'd like to see it. Anyway, let me run to the super chats. Big up everyone as well, watching, everyone getting their comments in and getting your views. This is what this AFTV Live is about. I want to read the super chats and thank you so much to them, because there's loads coming in. Benny says, another signing no one knew about, shows you can't trust the press, and that Arteta and co maybe hold their cards close. Didn't Odegaard happen like this as well?
But Odegaard was a bit different, but the Real's U-turn in terms of wanting to keep him and then having to let him go. That's what it kind of came down to. But when that did happen, it was pretty swift. It's different to this one. This one is similar to us waking up and seeing Spurs sign Basuma, or on the verge of signing Basuma, pretty much out of nowhere. This one, we haven't even talked about Fabio Vieira.
No.
It's only because we did that European draft video today that you, James, in particular, looked out for him and mentioned him. But you know, at the end of the day, listen, it's a welcome change.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing.
I don't mind.
I don't
mind not hearing a rumor about him and all that. It puts these journals in the mud and in the nose in the mud because, like I always say, they don't really know what they're talking about. They're fed what they're fed at the end of the day, and this is further proof of that. So long may it continue. Arsenal, do your business under the radar and do good business under the radar. That's all I ask for.
Which they did last summer. And
they started this one well. I think at 35 million, from what I know about Vieira, what I've seen, the reputation, I think it's a worthwhile risk.
Yeah. Okay. AFC Max says, love you, Turkish. Love from Australia.
Come on, Max.
Haynes Nell says, Odegaard most like the David Silva and Fabio Vieira like Bernardo Silva. Agree
slightly, but still Silva was a bit more mobile than Odegaard, but I get what you mean.
Shref with a super chat says, wasn't Samuel Okongo a teen legend in Belgium squad and Emery rated him? Pepe was African Messi. They all look the part till they get tackled Premier League style.
Yes and no. Obviously, some people come to the league stressing it and they can't adapt, or they struggle to keep up with the pace or the physicality and whatnot. But some people come, hit the ground running. Some people come and mold themselves into being more robust, and you know, we can only hope that this is more a Bernardo Silva than it is a Pepe or so on. 35 million is not Pepe numbers, so the pressure on his head and the expectation is very different. But you're right as well. Like I said, you can't run away with it. We don't know much about him. I'm not sure many Arsenal fans do know much about him. But what I do know is, thank you, I'll take it. Keep it moving.
And listen, it's never here nor there when it comes to players coming to the Premier League and like hitting the ground running. Like you said, like Aubameyang, if you look at him before he signed, I would have said he was a player that would have come in and struggled, in my personal opinion, physicality wise and whatnot. Came in and lit it up. First half seasons got double figures and then carried on and done what he did. So you can never gauge it, you can never judge it. But 5'6", 5'7", he's gonna.
Well, someone said he's 5'9", but either way, he's not a big player. So
he's definitely not. He's not.
You know, he's definitely more, you know, around that front three behind the striker than he would be the 8 or the Xhaka replacement that people might be seeing him as. He's not a Xhaka replacement.
Travis says, another youth, bored of this project youth, #wake up.
That's the balance I'm trying to keep here, you know. Obviously he's 22 and it's good to have young players, especially young players with potential and reputation. That's all good and well, and yes, that's part of being a big club. It's part of being a good club, and you know, long may it continue. But at the same time, part of being a big club that wins things, competes for things, is having the right balance of experience, youth, competition, all of that mentality. So like I said, listen, out of nowhere today this has happened. Long may it continue. In the next few weeks, let's do some more business, keep our eyes off of our competition in the league, let's say, because we are doing what we need to do. That's all I want. I want us to do what we need to do, so we are not, we don't care about what other people are doing.
Yeah. Mark Wybrow with the super chat, thank you so much for that. AR Datuka says, some fans are purposely finding excuses to be negative. He's a good signing. Now we need to get Jesus, Tielemans, Hickey, Rafinha and Danilo dos Santos. I mean, that's a long list. I don't know if we'll get that many signings in, but I wouldn't say we're being negative at all. I think we've been very happy that we're making signings. Arsenal as a football
said we
club.
was negative.
No, he said some fans are. He's not saying you, but he's saying some fans are finding excuses to be negative.
Yeah, but that's like I said, the culture of the fan base now is very like it's weird, man. It's weird. It's very tit for tat. It's just it's weird. It's weird. Like I assume we all want the best for the club, so I don't know why it's so tit for tat. You said this, shame. You said that, hold that. It's just, it's weird. It's weird. But it's like you said earlier. It's a signing young. Or I got this right.
Quality.
Oh, you got this wrong.
I think that's what there's always that as well, isn't there?
See, I told you. Oh, it's just bad.
Alvin George with a super chat as well. Thank you very much. Didn't say anything, but he's just sent a super chat in. Wow, they are flying in. Big up everyone as well in the chat, and big up everyone sending in your super chats. James, not James B, but James here with a super chat says he comes from Portugal. He plays for Arsenal. Vieira. Vieira. Do you know how funny that is? That people are, he's just sent that. People are saying that when we literally just did a show.
Yeah, and Robbie started singing it in the show. Listen, bit premature for them. I know it's going to catch on.
Are you going to be singing that on Palace first game of the season?
Listen, no. Vieira done a lot for that chant. Vieira, that name Vieira, he's got a lot to live up to. Very different player, but listen, if anything, think of another chant for him, even though it's easy. I always associate that chant to Paddy. So
100%. That's a legendary chant.
But it's gone to at the end of the day.
Iffy, thank you again. Thank you for your super chat as well. Sky Tooch photo says, having a fit Tomiyasu, Partey, Tierney is our biggest problem. This club, these owners are like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. I mean, I hear it. We're talking about really depth there, but I think I'm asking a lot for wanting to fit Thomas Partey. I probably am nowadays. Saliba, Gabriel on the back line there, have a Tierney in there with a fit Thomas Partey.
Yeah, but it's naive, because we have to learn that it's not an ideal world. You need to prepare yourself adequately.
So does it bringing in more depth? But are we in a position where
lack of striker nearly cost City the everything last season. I mean, it didn't work out for them in the Champions League. The league, it went from 11 points to 1 point pretty quick. Well, not pretty quickly, but over time. Listen, it could have really gone pear-shaped because the lack of a striker, and that's City levels.
Yeah.
That's them not addressing the position for a couple of seasons, and it's still nearly costing them, even though they do what they do across the team, across the company, business, whatever.
Well, it affected us in January. We didn't strengthen in out front or in the midfield, and that affected us getting a full spot.
You didn't think they needed a Diaz in January, but they bring in a Diaz, they closed the gap, and all right, they didn't win the Champions League, but they got far there, and in the end they got 2 cups out of the season. So you just you need to keep on going.
Yeah,
Arteta said maximise every window, so Arsenal maximise every window.
Yeah, amen to that. Big up Troops in the chat as well. I'm actually excited for Fabio Vieira. Good business as well. Big up Troops every time, and I think that's what a lot of us, what I've read and what we're seeing, what you've said as well, what I've said as well. I think it is a good sign. It is good business. Obviously, we'll yet to see where. I think we're just questioning where does he fit in. Like, we know what position he is. We know his qualities. We know what he can bring to this Arsenal side. But how is Mikel Arteta really going to fit this young player into his mould and get the best out of the whole squad with him in there? Will he be starting straight away? Turkish believes so, by the sense of, Arsenal never spend this much money and put him and use a backup, not in recent years anyway. That doesn't really happen. I mean, we'll get to that in a second. I'll say something in a second. Jonathan James says, is Vieira the Cazorla regen, ? Ray, I'm sorry, I just completely know. Yeah, I don't know enough on him to give him that title as well. I love Cazorla. He's both he's quality, bro.
People are too quick to start. You can't compare certain names to certain names. Vieira's starting at his career. Cazorla done his dirt. Cazorla was quality. It's injuries that put an end or premature end to his Arsenal career anyway. But Cazorla was a different level.
He was different technical ability, both feet, everything. Runs low centre of gravity, runs past players, creative. Yeah, it's way too early to even comprehend or give an assumption of that. Ray Lopez says Moneyball approach may be most helpful for Arsenal. Is that in the sense of what, just throwing money at signings? Is that what he's trying to say there? But
that's all we really have at the moment, money. So that's all we can really.
We rarely ever spend. So I
guess the project, if it is on the way to something, then that people could argue that is one thing, but it's money that's going to kind of sway people. And also, listen, how many with Arsenal, we're still a big club. We're not in Champions League, but we're still a big club. So it depends on what other teams are in the market. I think last summer, Liverpool, or it was rumoured that Liverpool were interested in him. Obviously when teams like that are interested, it doesn't seem like Arsenal might stand a chance. This summer, it's kind of gone under the radar. And it's good work. It's good work because I'm shocked, you're shocked, we're all shocked. But he must have been identified. It's a decent chunk of money on him. So Arteta has got another one of his guys, which should be positive for what he's trying to do.
We'll talk about it in a second, because you're right, he's building a lot of these now. The majority of this team is his players, so like I said, but I'll be interested to see where he puts them in. One way, football, with Suja says, I'm not really bothered who we get right now. I just don't want to lose our first 3 games of the season with a goal on the sheet, but need these. Let's hope this is the start of new things with Fabio. I mean, for sure he's without a goal on the sheet. I want to run through some super chats before we reply to someone, because there's so many coming in. Thank you, everyone, as well. Patrick Pratik, with a super chat says, Arteta wants to build Vieira like Bernardo. I can see where he wants to take this team. He's taking players with multi-positions capabilities, and that is also very true. He likes players that can play in multiple positions. Serkan says, according to Turkish press, wonder kid Odegaard is reported to be linked to Arsenal for a fee of 25 million.
I don't know much about him.
We heard about that just earlier.
I've heard the links, but yeah.
AFC protagonist says, are we buying extra midfielders? Anticipating a Partey injury. 2 out of 2 good signings. Sell Xhaka, Pepe, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and it makes sense. Serkan again with a super chat says, he says same one. Thank you though for the super chat. Don't worry, we are getting through them. Epiccetus35 says, is Vieira that good? Yet to play for Portugal and was a substitute for nearly half of Porto's games last season, which you mentioned at the beginning. Isn't this a similar fee to Rafinha?
Different player to Rafinha, though.
Different player to Rafinha. You spoke about Rafinha as well. You spoke about how would he fit in as well? Like where would he slot into this Arsenal side? And I think these are the questions. Obviously, Arteta is a manager. He must have an idea. These are definitely the players that he wants. But that's what it kind of comes down to. But yeah, they are completely different players. Obviously, Rafinha and Vieira, different positions. Dad's Natsu Zola says, bro, let this Basuma thing go. We never wanted him. I'm sure the fans wanted him. That's very true. But not the club. Let's give the club until July before we start. Now, this is kind of my thing. I think I'm kind of just waiting till towards the end of the window before I start getting frustrated. Been very calm. I think going through his transfer window, there's been frustrations. I've seen other clubs do business, but I'm used to that, if I'm completely honest. So, I think you just wait kind of towards the end of the season. I don't think we were ever in pursuit. I did say that on our live as well. I think that was mainly fan-led, and the fact that he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah.
And it just burns a bit more because he went to Tottenham. Keenan says, Turkish, Jesus, Rafinha, Tielemans, Vieira and Hickey is top 4 reality with that window.
Jesus, Rafinha, Tielemans, Vieira and Hickey. With the top 4 thing, obviously Manchester City and Liverpool have 2 of those positions already. Tottenham, if they wrap up Basuma and Jed Spence, I'd say they're strong for that. It's really, you're looking at Chelsea and United and what they do this summer.
If I change Rafinha for Gnabry, would that
would definitely increase the confidence for sure. That's a different level of player.
I agree.
Yeah, then I'd probably say with that, then yeah, I'm a lot more confident.
The only reason why I say that is because those names are the names I do want to see come through the door. Obviously, I'm not going to say Vieira because he wasn't on my radar. If I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, it came out of the blue for me. But you add Gnabry in there instead of Rafinha, that gets you goals. You've got a nice midfield as well that can get you goals there. You've got backup. Yes, it's not the full whack, but there's enough players in there that can. For me, that gets you in the conversation of top 4. I'm not going to put my neck on line because I can't guarantee anything, but that's definitely more confidence, like you said. So, that's why I put that in there. David Stam says, I'm a Porto fan and Fabio's fantastic. Great deal. Big up. Gulbrand says, Turkish, would you take Wilfried Zaha as a second attacking signing after we get Jesus,
nope.
the striker signing? No?
No.
Okay.
There's actually interesting left-wing options out there. We talked about in the European draft. There's
a lot.
Is one of those ones where it's like, we missed that one now. Let's just move on from it.
Do you think he's definitely past his prime? Then do you think he would come to Arsenal and not be able to?
He'll add to us. Don't get me wrong. I'm not dismissing his qualities. He'll add to us, but I just think 2 years too late, and there's interesting options out there on the left. A couple of players that get goals. I think there's better options, if I'm honest.
Okay. Getting a lot of love in here, Turkish, on the super chats here. Paul with a super chat says, Turkish, you legend. Love how you're straight talking, spitting facts. Always, bro. Big up for the Big Six show too.
Love
for the love, gents. Big love. Randy B59 says, he's more of a Bernardo Silva type of a player. Good move for creativity and player ability to change a game. There are other positions which need attention as well. Get the business done.
Yeah.
But at least we're getting business done. This is what we were kind of commending Arsenal here for getting business done. I expect more is going to happen over the window while the window's open. We have to. So what are we saying? So if they get a striker, and they say, listen, you lot, and they give Eddie his new deal and whatnot, and they say, that's it, we're done. You've had enough there. You fuming?
What's that?
So that's
Vieira, Jesus,
and Marquinhos.
Come on, my bro.
I'm just testing waters. I'm just trying to. I've got to add him in. He's a son.
Of course, that's not enough.
All right, cool.
And that's nothing against Jesus or Vieira. I like both signings, but it's not enough.
Okay, I'm just checking. One way football back again with a super chat says, does Jesus fit into what Arteta is doing, or can we go for another striker? Or can we go for another striker? And who else fits them boots? We have. Sorry, I've got so many tabs up here. We have had two I'm just going to say he means world-class strikers and struggled. I mean, who's two world? I mean, Aubameyang and what is he talking about? Aubameyang and Lacazette there? You tell me.
Probably, but yeah, I don't know about that. Oba, yeah.
Yeah, it'll be Oba definitely, but is he talking about him and Lacazette? Who else fits the mold? I mean, there's, like I said, we've done a draft video. We've done this. It will be coming out soon, so make sure you guys check out on that. There's many strikers we mentioned in that as well. There is players out there. It's just whether Arsenal are looking at them or want to. Kroenke wants to put his hand in his pocket and sign these players. Dane Williams with Super Chat says, Turkish, I hope we sign the Turkish wonder kid that plays for Fenerbahce. Only Arsenal get trolled for signing kids. How ironic these other fans are.
Yeah, Dane, on one hand, yeah, we do get trolled for it, but that's because that's all we seem to be doing. And who do I use as an example? Let's say Chelsea, for example, when they were signing up all the youngsters and whatnot, what they was also doing was, improving their first team with the necessary experience, allowing the youngsters to blend in the background. And yes, they lost out on a couple of stars, but I think that's a better way to.
Chelsea signing youngsters or bring them out from their academy? Is that when they were bringing them through their academy?
No, there was a time when they were just signing youngsters and loaning them out left, right and centre. And yes, a few came up for them. But then when I look back at it, they lost a few that kind of cost them in the end. You look at Chelsea now, and would they have been in a better position had they had them players? But then at the same time, it's such a balance, because when you're a big club, you need to be competing. Otherwise, you lose the young players. But then you don't want to look back and think, because when Salah and De Bruyne came back to the league and whatnot, a lot of people got onto Chelsea saying, oh, look, top boys. But at that time, Chelsea was winning stuff. So they didn't care about it at that time. They might care more now, considering where Chelsea are. But that's all in hindsight. At the end of the day, there's a balance to it. Yes, give young players opportunities, but also give them a stomping ground that, gives them competition, gives them motivation, gives them ambition, and competition, and being in the top 4, Champions League, so on. These are things that players want, young players want more and more as they get older.
Which is the harsh reality of football. Do you credit Mikel Arteta for sticking with this Project Youth, and trying to really compete? Because like you just said there, like Chelsea had it, but they were winning things. They weren't really using these young players. They were being dominant with experienced players and whatnot. Do you credit him for really sticking with this? The young players
until you see the results. I know a lot of fans straight away want to give credit, whether it's for 8 wins in a row, or whether it's for 6 clean sheets in a row, or whether it's for one signing. I get that, but at the end of the day, it's a results business, and the results haven't been good over the last few years. So yes, it's a good signing. Yes, it's early. We've got time. It looks like we're going to do more business, but it's a results business. Whatever business we do this summer, is determined by what we do next season. I keep on saying, in 2019, I thought we had a great summer. Pepe, Martinelli, Saliba, Guendouzi, Torreira, Tierney. That sounds like a great summer. Even now, when you look back, you can imagine that summer. It looked good. It looked like we was changing things up. It looked like we was going through a transition. Then we finished 8th. Then we finished 8th. So that summer wasn't that great after all. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't that great, because look what it resulted in. So at the end of the day, last summer was a positive summer, because
it was. That's what I was going to say. Last summer was kind of the opposite to that. I know we didn't get here because we didn't get over the line to get the full spot.
But this now we need to get over the line.
Yeah, it's a frustrating one, Turkish, because listen. I keep talking about Project Youth now, and I love that Arsenal doing that. But we definitely need experience amongst the youthful players. But that comes with players where I don't know if Mikel Arteta can really handle those certain personalities or egos from certain experienced players. So I'm trying to figure out where we're going to get a signing of it's not going to be a big name, but an experienced player that that can really sit in and allow these young players to really flourish, because it's a lot of young signings so far. We've still got a lot of youngsters coming through as well from the academy that are going to probably get a lot of opportunities next season with the amount of games we have. I do want to see a bit of experience. I will lean a bit on the side of you guys and Robbie. I do want to see some experienced players definitely come in soon. I think going forward, from now on, I would like to see the experienced players. I think we've ticked off the youthfulness. Do you know what I mean? Especially the youngsters that are still coming through. Non-Cuffy, Saliba, still got Patino, Flores, and Mario Hutch. There's still a lot to.
And that's without Smith Rowe, Martinelli, Saka, Saliba. You know, all these players are young. So.
Yeah, exactly that. Let me go into Lindu's super chat here. Says Vieira will be another Ceballos spin till you dizzy. Guna Tribe says at this point I'll take anyone with a pulse to hopefully replace Xhaka. Never heard of him, but I'm pretty certain he's better than Xhaka. Welcome Vieira. They are different players, definitely different players. Vieira's more advanced. Xhaka's obviously. Yeah, different players. It is more agile, like we spoke about, more dynamic
you saw
as well.
Vieira playing. Does that guy look like Xhaka? There's no completely
different. I don't know why I did that. Do you know why I did that? Sorry, do you know why I did that? Is because Xhaka's played more advanced.
Doesn't matter where he plays. If Arteta put Xhaka striker, you're gonna start saying, he might be like Aguero. He might be, yeah.
I don't know what thank you for calling me up on that. That's the only reason. They do actually play in the same sort of position, but yeah, they are completely different players. And yes, he's definitely better than Xhaka, in my opinion. Temi with a super chat says, on the subject of owners, the hockey team Colorado Rapids are 1-0 up in the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't give a F. Chai Tayana, but thank you for the super chat, big up. I mean, this Bunda there, his other teams. Chai Tayana says 4-3 freestyle Arteta has been trying to implement. Now this is what I'm saying. This is what I believe he's trying to do. I already mentioned at the beginning of the show. This is what I think Arteta is trying to get him playing, is the 4-3-3 with one DM and those two in front. That's the only way I can make sense of this signing. The fee for him, and if he's going to play and be someone who features a lot in Arsenal.
Odegaard will probably got 8, and then he'll be the 10.
Yeah, that's kind of how I see it. But
that's how I'm making sense of it anyway.
Same. Sinan G says to keep up with a squad of the top 6, we need a minimum 8 quality signings. Can't see that happening though. Big up AFTV. Big up Sinan. I don't see 8 signings happening. How many do you think we'll end the window with? Do you think another 6 is coming Turkish? I keep saying 4 is realistic for what's going to happen at the end of this window.
Yeah, I say probably we'll get 4 or 5.
Okay.
If you class Saliba, we've got 3, and if you put Marquinhos in there as well, but I'm not classing.
Right, you sound like the owners, my bro.
No, but I'm not classing Marquinhos and Saliba as new signings, because people, I'm before they come to me about Saliba and Marquinhos, you need to call them out, because they're not, signings for the first
Eddie's
team.
a new signing as well.
That's your guy, bruv.
That's your guy. You're funny, Turkish, I swear. He was under 21 man of the tournament in the Euro. Is that what you mentioned? You mentioned at the beginning?
I think, was it last? Because they had back-to-back championships, so 2020, 2021. I think it was last year that Portugal finished second. And that was the one he won the player of the tournament. But he was in both teams of the tournament, 2020 and 2021, which bodes well for a young player.
Does.
The creme de la creme of youth in Europe are in that tournament. So
do you worry that he could be? I'm not gonna say be a Lokonga, but could you worry that it could end up like
listen,
Lokonga?
Carlos Vela back in the day, I think he was player of the tournament that won under 21 Euros, but he didn't work out in the end. So it doesn't mean they're gonna work out. It means it's a good start. It's it's a good showcase. What's the next step?
Any with a super chat says, guys, what was your assessment of Odegaard last season when he used as a CM? No, I did not. It wasn't good. It wasn't good when he was dropped a bit deeper. It didn't really bode well. But then, like I said, I'm looking him to be a bit further forward on the right side with Vieira on the left side in front of Partey. Miles Smith says, getting Dennis Suarez vibes.
Mexican, but whatever tournament under 23s, whatever tournament it was, he won player of the tournament or something, man of them, whatever, he done something.
Yeah. Getting Dennis Suarez vibes from this signing. I hope not. I really hope not.
Dennis Suarez was different. Dennis Suarez was a player where there was already doubts about him. When he was young, it looked like he was going to be a big player, but when we signed him, there was already doubts about that because he didn't take the step up.
Yeah.
Whereas with Vieira, it's like, this is the step up. Especially when you look at last season, 15 starts, 12 off the bench, great numbers. This is now the step up. Different league, Arsenal, different expectations. So I think it's very different. You can't couple it up with that.
Lachi says, is Vieira the new Bernardo Silva boys CM left wing counter attacking midfielder? Also has played up front as well. So he's versatile. But listen, we see the trend here. I think there was a super chat earlier as well that spoke about Mikel Arteta wants players that can play in multiple positions and can be confident to put them out in multiple positions, especially with obviously injuries and whatnot. He seems like one of them. Again, I don't want to tie this Vieira to other top players too early. I don't know that so much about him to say, yeah, he's definitely going to emulate this sort of player. But he is very versatile, very dynamic. He can take on players. He takes shots as well, which I think we definitely need. We need more of a midfielder that takes a lot of shots. And yeah, he's a good ball carrier. I'm excited. I think I don't want to say excited. Definitely not say that. But I'm interested to see how well he does here at Arsenal.
Because he looks good.
Yeah, he does. Epic Titus 35 says Vieira isn't similar to Rafinha, but on a limited. Isn't similar to Rafinha, but on a limited budget, it's probably either or. Surely Rafinha would be better to buy. Premier League proven, Brazil international. I haven't really, do you know what? I haven't really been a Rafinha. I'm not really on this Rafinha hype personally. That's me personally. I don't know if I
like Rafinha, but I think we've got other priorities. But you know, we'll see.
I Sport Tottenham says, I definitely don't. Let me just clear that's his name. Super chat. Thank you for your super chat though. Got me with the name there. Who is the?
That's a different one, but he got you.
He got me bad. Who the F is Vieira? Manager or player? He's a player, bro. But with that name,
he was more interested in getting.
Yeah. Daniel Hammett says, so 45 million spent. How much more will be spent?
That's what we're gonna find out. You know, that's what we're gonna find out.
Bear with me 2 seconds. We've got Luke Richards here with a super chat as well. Are you concerned it's 35 million for someone who plays in a position we have options in compared to CM striker, especially if we have 100 million? Well, all this arguing about Basuma and priority that James and Robbie did and all of that, that frustrated me because my priority would be striker. Listen, Arteta for the past 2 seasons has worked on he keeps saying we need to strengthen defence. I want to work from the back. We need to get foundations, work on defence. Defence is key. Now I want to start seeing us build going forward. I want to see more strikers coming through the door. I mean, this kind of option does also bode well with my argument here. Obviously, he's not a striker, but he's a midfielder that takes shots and whatnot. So I'm liking to see this from Arsenal. I'm tired of just going back to defensive midfielders and centre backs. I think it's now time to move forward. Okay, in my opinion, anyway. Sorry, there's so many super chats. Big up everyone. Also, can everyone hit a like as well? Everyone watching this video as well, please hit a like. It's literally free. It means a lot to us. We're on 1,200 likes. See if we can get up to 2,000 by the end of this stream. Peter Bissett says, just watch Vieira highlights, getting Haleb vibes. Ronaldinho the GOAT says, number 10s in modern football are useless. Now that's a conversation we can have as well. We'll do that in a second. Young Gunner, Cecil caught me out with a Xhaka and Vieira comparison. Turkish, well done for calling that out, lol. Nice lies, lads. Yeah, he caught me. Sounds like I question things so much when I'm saying then boom. But big up Turkish as well. Dad's back with a super chat, says 4-3-3, 1 holding and 2 8s in the midfield is what Arteta is implementing. That's the only way I see clarity in this deal, and I wouldn't be angry at seeing that. I would actually like to see that from Arsenal next season. KXB Kennels on Instagram, thank you so much for the super chat. The last one, Sean M says we're a dead club with dead signings. I don't disagree with that. Probably, I don't know if you're an Arsenal fan or not, but I disagree with that. But anyway, that is it for the super chats. Big up everyone for the super chats and send them in. We'll get to the comments as well. We are coming towards the end of the show. We're coming towards the end of the hour, but I did want to discuss, obviously, just briefly, obviously the fixture list came out today. We saw Robbie and James speak about it. Also, Turkish Cheapers for recorded today, that you'll get to see them discuss some of the fixtures this season that are coming for this season and last season's fixtures and results. Will you be singing Vieira against Palace on the first game of the season?
You guys need to allow me with all of this.
Yeah. Are you worried about that first game of the season against Palace? Because it seems like these TV rights deals are getting ridiculous now. Playing us on in the
third year of a process, that first 5 fixtures you should be winning all 5. That's all I'm gonna say.
You should be.
Yeah, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's up to you whether you wanna say, but Palace this, but this that. That's up to you or whoever wants to say it. That's your standards. For me, the third year of a process, you should be winning those 5 games.
Well, with that mindset, we should be winning all games then. If you're saying like that,
not necessarily, because there's no Manchester City or Liverpool in there.
Okay, well, let's take out the Man City and Liverpool. But you're saying, with the third year of the process.
What year of the process are Chelsea in? The first with the new owner, yeah?
Yeah.
What year are Man United in? The first with the new manager, yeah?
Yeah.
So what is it? What year are Tottenham in?
Man, you can't say Man United. Man United finished.
Yeah, but what they're going into the first year of their process, yeah? Tottenham are going into their first full year of their process, right? Yeah. We're in our third year. So if I'm wrong for saying that first 5 fixtures, we should be winning every single one of them. Yeah, I know that Palace is a difficult game. Cool. I know we lost to them last season. Cool. But what I am saying is, in the third year, if someone comes and says, in 3 years, I'm going to lose to Palace in the starting game of the season, that doesn't sound right. In the third year, that should be a confident W. So we'll see. You know, let's make sure we're prepared.
Okay. So
for once, it's a start to the season, because it's been a little while that I look at and I say, you know, it's a good start to the season. Yes, a couple difficult ones. There always is in the Premier League. You're never going to start a season without a difficult one. But there's no Chelsea, there's no Man City, there's no Liverpool. You know, the away fixtures are Palace and Bournemouth in the first 5, is it? Listen, I'm looking at 15 out of 15. Worst case, 13 out of 15.
So if you don't get worst case. So if you don't get 15 out of 15, if we don't get 15 out of 15 points,
it's going to be disappointed, isn't it? It's not on mine. Ain't you going to be disappointed in the third year of the process? You go in and you don't win the first 5 against those teams. Wouldn't you be disappointed? This shouldn't just be me and the way I am.
I'll be disappointed, but I think 12 points.
So you I think 12 in the third year. You don't mind losing to Palace?
I think we might drop. I think it's possible that we could drop points.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, there needs to be a certain. Like,
so I don't want that.
If the club ain't setting the standard and the barometer, you know, to be compared against, then surely we have to.
But obviously, I don't want that. But where we're at, right, from what I'm looking at this window and what we're seeing and what I think of Palace and how. Listen, I think, you know, there's going to be a difficult game Friday night under the lights. I was there last season, was there under the lights, and we got absolutely run over.
Yeah, we did.
So
we did.
That's the reason why I say that. But you know,
Palace are going into their second year of their process. Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
Okay, so just remember, we're going into our third year. That's all I'm going to keep saying. Third year of the process. Good first 5 fixtures. Let's go. 13 out of 15 minimum.
Okay, last super chat here with KXB Kennels on Instagram. Vieira is a backup for Saka. Ooh, with ability to cover middle. Tielemans is still on the way, but no Rafinha in my opinion. What do you think? I don't know if he's a cover for a Saka in my opinion. Yeah, that is your thoughts on that. Vieira being covered for Saka. Tielemans is still on the way, but no Rafinha in my opinion. What do you think? We're
not buying 40 million to cover. Arsenal don't do that. He's going to be starting 11 come the first month or 2 of the season.
All right. Well, Turkish, we are coming to the end of this live. I do want to reiterate, listen, from the start of the live, this is the news of today, is Fabio Vieira is looking to make a sign here at Arsenal Football Club, travelling to do his medical tomorrow, is being reported from Fabrizio Romano. I hate saying his name, I always get it wrong. Played his release clause of 50 million euros, so looking like it's going to soon be a done deal. I believe we're both happy with the signing. We do want to see more signings, of course, here at Arsenal. There's still more to be done and still more positions that need to take priority, shall we say. But it's good business. Young 22-year-old player with a lot of ability. I'm excited to see him. I'm looking forward to seeing him next season, hopefully for Arsenal. Thank you for watching. Go get the merch if you can. There's a discount code of Guna. It's called Guna20 on merch. Get 20% off before Father's Day. Go check that out.